Hello friends, can you identify the adjective and adjective clause in the given sentence? The boy who lives next door to me is an intelligent software engineer. Here, the word intelligent is an adjective as it is describing the noun software engineer, while the group of words who lives next door to me is an adjective clause as it is describing the noun boy. Do you want to learn the ABC of adjective clauses? Then, in this video, we will learn all about adjective clauses. First, we will learn what are adjective clauses. Then, we will understand how to identify them with the help of examples and also their different types. Finally, I will give you an exercise to practice. So, without further ado, let's get started. What is an adjective clause? An adjective clause is made of two words, adjective plus clause. Now, what is an adjective? An adjective is a word that describes or tells us more about a noun or pronoun in the sentence. For example, I saw a huge elephant. Here, the word huge is describing the noun elephant. So, it's an adjective. And what is a clause? A clause is a group of words that has a subject and verb agreement and has a meaning of its own. It is mainly divided into two types. Number one, independent or principal clause. For example, I saw a huge elephant. And number two, dependent clause. For example, I saw an elephant that was very huge. Here, that was very huge is an example of a dependent clause. Here, the entire group of words that was very huge is describing the noun elephant, which means it is acting as an adjective in the sentence, and so it is called an adjective clause. So an adjective clause is a clause that acts as an adjective in the sentence. How to identify an adjective clause in a sentence? There are two steps to identifying an adjective clause. Number one, adjective clause, which is also referred to as relative clause, generally starts with relative pronoun who, which, whom, whose or that, or relative adverbs including when, where and why. And the general sentence structure is subject or object plus relative pronoun or relative adverb plus subject plus verb, or subject or object plus relative pronoun as the subject plus verb. In this structure, the relative pronoun that, which, who acts both as a subject and subordinating conjunction. So this is the first step. First, identify the clause which starts with these words. Step 2. We should be able to answer the question which one or what kind. Let's look into an example to understand these two steps. The man who lives next door to me is an engineer. The first step is to identify the relative pronoun or relative adverb in the sentence. Here, who is used as a relative pronoun, and the entire group of words who lives next door is a dependent clause as it has a subject and a verb and a meaning of its own. Now, with step 2, we can confirm if it's an adjective clause or not. Step 2. Ask the question which one or what kind. Which man we are talking about? The man who lives next door. Here, the clause who lives next door is answering to the question which man. So, it's an adjective clause. So, whenever you find a clause and you want to identify whether it's an adjective clause or not, just ask the question which one or what kind. If the answer is coming, then it's an adjective clause. Some more examples of adjective clauses are: the gym where I work out is closed for renovations. Here, where is a relative adverb and the entire clause where I work out is a relative or adjective clause. The child who is in the yellow dress is my son. Here, who is the relative pronoun and the entire clause who is in the yellow dress is a relative or adjective clause. Now, let's look into different types of adjective clauses. The adjective clause is classified into two types. based on their usage in the sentence. Number 1. Essential or defining adjective clause. And number 2. Non-essential or modifying adjective clause. What is an essential clause? If an adjective clause is essential or compulsorily required for the sentence to identify the meaning or make a clear sense, then it's an essential clause. We do not use commas to separate the clause from the rest of the sentence. Let's look into an example of it. The boy who lives next to me got first rank in the IIT. Here, the adjective clause is who lives next to me. Now, is it an essential clause or not? It's a defining clause or essential clause because if we remove this clause, then the meaning of the sentence is incomplete, as we won't be able to figure out which boy we are talking about. And so, comma is also not required here. Now, let's look into non-essential clause. If an adjective clause is just giving additional information about the noun or pronoun and is not essential or required for the sentence to make a clear meaning or sense, then it's a non-essential clause. Here, we use comma to separate out the clause from the rest of the sentence. Let's look into example of it. Ramesh, who lives next to me, got first rank in IIT. Here, the clause who lives next to me is just providing an additional information about the noun Ramesh. Even if we remove the clause, the sentence will still make complete sense. So, it's a non-essential clause, and therefore we have used a comma to separate this clause from the rest of the sentence. Let's look into some more examples of both of them. Examples of essential adjective clauses are: I love the watch that you gifted me on my birthday. Here, the clause that you gifted me is a defining clause, as it is defining which watch I am talking about. The man whose daughter he has married is a billionaire. Here, the clause whose daughter he has married is a defining clause, as it is defining which man we are talking about. Now, let's look into some examples of non-essential adjective clause. We visited Gandhinagar, which is close to Ahmedabad. Here, the clause which is close to Ahmedabad is just giving additional information about Gandhinagar. So, it's a non-essential clause. Mary, who sang a solo, won the prize. Here, the clause who sang a solo is just giving additional information about Mary. So, it's a non-essential clause. I hope now you are clear with adjective clauses and their two types. Let me give you an exercise. In this exercise, you need to identify the type of adjective clause in the sentence and whether it's an essential or non-essential clause. Number 1. Dancing, which many people love, is tiresome. Number 2. I don't like people who drink alcohol. Number 3. Dr. Ajay, who lives next door to me, is a general surgeon. Pause the video, solve the exercise and message me the answer in the comment. I will be waiting for your reply. I hope you would have given the correct answers. To know the correct answers, please check the description of the video. Let's quickly revise what we learned in this lesson. First, we understood what is an adjective clause. An adjective clause is made of two words, adjective and clause, and it acts as an adjective in the sentence. Next, we learned the two-step formula to identify an adjective clause. Step 1. Adjective clause generally starts with relative pronoun who, which, whom, whose, and that, or relative adverb when, where, and why. Step 2. We should be able to answer to the question which one or what kind of subject or object we are talking about. We understood these steps with examples. Next, we learned different types of adjective clauses. Adjective clause is classified into two types based on their usage in the sentence. Number 1. Essential or defining adjective clause, which is essential for the meaning of the sentence and the sentence is incomplete without its existence. And number 2. Non-essential or modifying adjective clause, which is not essential for the meaning of the sentence and just provides an extra information about the subject or object that we are talking about. Finally, I gave you an exercise whose answers you will be giving me in the comment. Thanks a lot for watching. Link to all the videos related to this topic are given in the description. Like, share, comment and subscribe in case you found the video helpful. All the best for your upcoming exams. We will meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye.